Hello everybody, welcome back to the Movie Cave! Now, I hope that you guys are ready for today's video. What are we doing today? Well, we have part 5 of the Star Wars Battlefront 3 concept. Go watch all the other parts, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go watch them before you watch this one because it would make more sense. I will leave a link in the description down below to those videos. Make sure that you go and watch those parts before you watch this one because it will make more sense going forward. We've talked about the heroes, the maps, the game modes, the troopers, and now for part 5 we have all the blasters that I would put in the game at launch. So I'm not going to waste any more time, let's just get straight in to the video. Okay, so to start off, I would put 55 blasters in the game at launch. How many of those are new blasters that I would be putting in the game? Well, that would be 2. How many of those blasters have I rearranged the stats for? A ton. So in Battlefront 2015 and Battlefront 2 in 2017, the blasters have stats of damage, rate of fire, range, and cooling power. And the stat bar is from 1 to 10. So basically I would keep the same concept, I'm just moving the stats around. Also, every blaster will have special mods as well that can be unlocked. Now, even though each trooper class would have access to every blaster, the blasters would be organized into the specifications of blaster rifle, heavy blaster, a blaster pistol, and a sniper. So, let's look at the blaster rifles first. In Battlefront 2, these blasters would be solely for the assault class. But every class has access to every blaster in my Battlefront 3, so let's do this. So blaster number 1 would be the A280C. This is the primary blaster of the Rebels. Its stats would be a 6 in damage, a 6 in the rate of fire, a 7 in range, and a 5 in cooling power. The special mods would be improved cooling, a scope, and night vision. Blaster number 2 is the E11. This is the primary blaster of the Empire. It's a 7 in damage, a 6 in the rate of fire, a 7 in range, and a 4 in cooling power. Its mods would be improved cooling, a scope, and a flashlight. Blaster number 3 is the EE3, most known as the blaster of Boba Fett. Now the EE3, it's a 3-shot burst. It would have 6 in damage, 7 in rate of fire, 8 in range, 6 in cooling power. The mods would be improved burst, reduce recoil, and reduce spread. Blaster number 4 is the EE4, 8 damage, 8 rate of fire, 3 range, and 4 cooling power. This one, it's a 2-shot burst. The mods would be improved burst, a scope, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 5 is the CJ9 bow rifle. It would have 7 damage, 5 rate of fire, 6 in range, 3 in cooling power. But for the CJ9 bow rifle, the best part to it is this blaster has a special melee attack that causes 75 damage. The mods would be reduced recoil, exploding shot, and lethal shock, which would increase the damage of the melee attacks to 160 damage, making it a one-hit against every trooper class besides the heavy. I know that might sound overpowered, but if it is overpowered, then we could nerf it. Blaster number 6 is the DC-15A. This is the primary blaster of the Republic. It has 6 damage, 5 rate of fire, 5 in range, and 7 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved range, and a scope. Blaster number 7 is the F11D. This is the primary blaster of the First Order. It has 6 damage, 5 rate of fire, 7 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, a flashlight, and improved handling. Blaster number 8 is the E5. This is the primary blaster of the Separatist. It has 5 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and an 8 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, improved range, and a scope. Blaster number 9 is the EL16. This is the primary blaster of the Resistance. It has 6 damage, 7 in rate of fire, a 5 in range, and a 4 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, a flashlight, and a scope. Blaster number 10 is the A280, not the A280C, that's the A280. It would have 5 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and a 6 in cooling power. The mods would be dual zoom, improved cooling, and improved range. Blaster number 11 is the CR2, has 3 damage, 10 in rate of fire, 3 in range, and 8 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, ion shot, and night vision. Blaster number 12 is the EL16 HFE. It has 8 damage, 3 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 8 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved range, and dual zoom. Blaster number 13 is the E11D. It has 6 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 7 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, flashlight, and improved range. And then blaster number 14 is the E10R. This would be a new blaster into the Battlefront franchise. It would have 5 in damage, 7 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 3 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, night vision, and a disruptor shot. If you guys are wondering why I'm kind of rushing through all the blasters, it's because I would rather not be here for 3 hours. So, I'm not really going that much in depth where it's gonna take like an hour-long video. I want to try and keep it as short as possible, where you guys get the point, but we're not here for an hour or two just solely talking about each blaster. So, that is all the blaster rifles I put in the game at launch. Now, let's move on to all the heavy blasters next. Blaster number 15 is the DLT19. It has 3 damage, 9 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 9 in cooling power. Its mods would be auto cooling, a scope, and an exploding shot. Blaster number 16 is the RT97C. It has 2 damage, 9 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 9 in cooling power. Its mods would be reduced recoil, reduced spread, and improved range. Blaster number 17 is the T21. It has 9 damage, 2 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 3 in cooling power. Its mods would be a scope, improved handling, and a burst mode. Blaster number 18 is the TL50. It has 3 damage, 10 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, reduced spread, and secondary fire. Blaster number 19 is the DC-15. It has 3 damage, 8 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 8 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, reduced spread, and a flashlight. Blaster number 20 is the FWMB-10. It has 2 damage, 7 in rate of fire, a 6 in range, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved cooling, and reduced spread. Blaster number 21 is the E5C. It would have 2 damage, 8 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 9 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, reduced spread, and a scope. Blaster number 22 is the M45. It has 3 damage, 7 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 8 in cooling power. The mods would be improved range, improved cooling, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 23 is the DC-15LE. It has 4 damage, 7 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved zoom, and exploding shot. Blaster number 24 is the FWMB10K. It has 4 damage, 6 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 7 in cooling power. The mods would be auto cooling, night vision, and an ion shot. Now there's all the heavy blasters in the game at launch. Let's move on to the blaster pistols, or the officer's weapon selection in Battlefront 2. So blaster number 25 is the DH17. It has 5 damage, 7 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, repeating mode, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 26 is the SE14C. It has 4 damage, 9 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 8 in cooling power. The mods would be improved range, night vision, and improved burst. Now, the SE14C is a blaster that has a 3 burst fire. However, with the mod improved burst, it would add a burst into it, having 4 bursts for the standard blaster. Blaster number 27 is the DL44, most known for being the blaster used by Han Solo. It has 9 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 5 in damage, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, disruptor shot, and improved handling. Now guys, I want to point out, these weapons that I'm putting in that heroes use, like the TL50 is used by Iden, the EE3 is used by Boba Fett, the DL44 is used by Han Solo. Yes, these are weapons that heroes use, but I want to point out, the blasters would be a lot better for the heroes, because you can't have like a normal assault trooper running around basically like Han Solo with the DL44 just destroying everything. You have to kind of take it down a little bit of notches. You can say that the heroes have improved versions of those blasters if you want, but just like for the normal troopers having these blasters like the DL44, I'm lowering the stats, okay? So me putting the DL44 in the game, yeah, it's a good blaster, but for the troopers, it's still a good blaster, but it's not as powerful as the DL44 when you're playing as Han Solo. Blaster number 28 is the DL18. It has 4 damage, 6 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 9 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, reduced spread, and bolt speed. Blaster number 29 is the DT12. It has 8 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 3 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be improved range, improved handling, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 30 is the X8 Night Sniper. This is the blaster used by Lando Calrissian. It has 5 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be repeating mode, night vision, and improved cooling. Blaster number 31 is the K16 Briar pistol. It is 7 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 7 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved range, and a secondary fire. Now blaster number 32 is the DT29. Now this one is different because it's like you're reloading ammo. It would have 9 damage, 8 in rate of fire, 5 in range, but 0 in cooling power. Because it's not really cooling, you're reloading ammo. The mods would be fast reload, making you reload the blaster faster, improved ammo, adding an extra bullet, and exploding shot. Blaster number 33 is the A180. It has 5 damage, 7 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, improved range, and a disruptor shot. Blaster number 34 is the DC-17. It would have 5 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be auto cooling, bolt speed, and rapid fire. Blaster number 35 is the SE44. It has 3 damage, 6 in rate of fire, 5 in range, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, improved range, and reduced spread. Blaster number 36 is the RK3. It has 5 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be improved range, improved cooling, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 37 is the RG4D. It has 4 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 7 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, exploding shot, and an ion shot. Blaster number 38 is the Glee 44. It has 5 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, reduced recoil, and bolt speed. Blaster number 39 is the S5. It has 8 damage, 2 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 3 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, dual zoom, and an ion shot. Blaster number 40 is the Blurg 1120. It has 5 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 3 in range, and 6 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, improved burst, adding an extra bullet with the burst, and exploding shot. Blaster number 41 is the SE44C. It has 4 damage, 7 in rate of fire, 4 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, night vision, and rapid fire. Blaster number 42 is the GL77. This would be a new blaster. It would have 6 damage, 6 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, burst mode, and reduced recoil. And that is all the blaster pistols I put in the game at launch. Now, let's move on to all the snipers. Blaster number 43 is the T21B. It has 7 damage, 2 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 2 in cooling power. The mods would be a scope, improved cooling, and reduced recoil. Blaster number 44 is the Dlt20a. It has 8 damage, 2 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 2 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, dual zoom, and an ion shot. Blaster number 45 is the Relby V10. This is the blaster most known for being used by Bosk. Again, it's not going to be as powerful as when Bosk uses it. This is for the troopers, not as powerful, but it's still good. It has 6 in damage, 6 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be a scope, night vision, and a disruptor shot. Blaster number 46 is the Valken 38X. It has 6 damage, 3 in rate of fire, 7 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The special mods would be improved cooling, bolt speed, and dual zoom. Blaster number 47 is the Dlt19D. It would have 6 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be improved range, improved handling, and dual zoom. Blaster number 48 is the E5S. It has 6 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 3 in cooling power. The mods would be reduced recoil, dual zoom, and improved cooling. Blaster number 49 is the A180 Sniper. It has 7 damage, 3 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 2 in cooling power. The mods would be improved cooling, reduced recoil, and dual zoom. Blaster number 50 is the Dlt20a. It has 7 damage, 4 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 4 in cooling power. The mods would be improved zoom, reduced recoil, and an ion shot. Blaster number 51 is the IQA-11. It has 7 damage, 2 in rate of fire, 8 in range, and 3 in cooling power. The mods would be dual zoom, bolt speed, and improved cooling. Blaster number 52 is the A280 CFE. It has 4 damage, 5 in rate of fire, 6 in range, and 5 in cooling power. The mods would be dual zoom, a burst mode, and an ion shot. Blaster number 53 is the NT242. It has 10 damage, 1 in rate of fire, 10 in range, and 1 in cooling power. The mods would be dual zoom, improved cooling, and a disruptor shot. Blaster number 54 is the Cycler Rifle, most known for being the blaster of the Tusken Raiders. It has 8 damage, 3 in rate of fire, 9 in range, and 2 in cooling power. The mods would be dual zoom, reduced recoil, and improved cooling. So that is all the sniper rifles I would put in the game at launch. Now, I said there's 55 blasters in all, so I would put one extra blaster in the game, and that would be the CA87 Shock Blaster, most known as the primary blaster of the Jawas. It has 10 damage, 1 in rate of fire, 2 in range, and 1 in cooling power. The mods would be a flashlight, an ion shot, and a scope. So that would be all 55 blasters I would put in the game at launch. Now each blaster would have to be unlocked by playing, except for the starting blasters. And the starting blasters for each era and faction would be: the Republic would get the DC-15A for the Assault and the Pilot Trooper class, because the Assault class and the Pilot class have the same starting blasters for every faction and era. The DC-15, the DC-17, and the Valken 38X would go with the DC-15A to the Republic. The Separatists would get the E5, the E5C, the RG-4D, and the E5S. The Rebels would get the A280C, the RT-97C, the DH-17, and the Dlt20a. The Empire would get the E11, the Dlt19, the RK3, and the Dlt19X. The Resistance would get the EO16, the M45, the Glee 44, and the A180 Sniper. The First Order would get the F11D, the FWMB-10, the SE44, and the DLT-19D. Every other blaster would have to be unlocked by the way it was in Battlefront 2, where basically with each blaster you had to get 100 kills to unlock the next blaster. But each 25 kills you unlock a mod for the blaster. Another 25 kills would unlock another mod. Another 25 kills with that blaster would do the last mod, and the last 25 kills would equal 100 kills with that blaster, which would unlock a new blaster. Now, I want to point out, just because the Assault class for the Empire would start off with an E11, it doesn't mean that only Assault Troopers can use the E11 or whatever. No, every Trooper class has access to every blaster. However, you'd have to unlock it. How do you unlock it? By unlocking every blaster in the game. And you know that sounds kind of messed up, because you're like, I thought we were getting every blaster in the game completely, for every Trooper class. Yes, but you have to unlock it by unlocking every blaster in the game. So you start off with the Assault class only having access to the blaster rifles. But once you unlock all the blaster rifles, and the heavies unlock all the heavy blasters, the officer unlocks all the blaster pistols, and the specialist unlocks all of the snipers. Once all the weapons are unlocked, then you have access to use any weapon you want for any class. Guys, remember, this is just the way that I would make the game. I'm not saying that it will be made. And for those of you that don't really kind of get it, and you think, I'm wrong, and why am I not putting this person in, or why am I not putting this place in, why am I not putting this into the game? Just stick around, okay? I know I can hear what the fans want, but for me personally, we have to think about in a business way. What would be the best way of doing it? And this is how I feel is the best way to make the game. Just trust me, follow along. I promise this will all make sense as the series progresses. This will all make sense. This was the blasters in the game at launch. So guys, that was the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Please go subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Make sure that you hit that bell notification so you always know of when I post. Be sure that you comment down below what you want to see next, and also share this video with everybody that you know, because that would be great. Make sure that you stay tuned for the next video. You are not going to want to miss it. I've already started working on it. Make sure that you go and watch my previous videos, all the previous parts to this series, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go watch those. I will leave a link in the description for the Battlefront 3 concept playlist in the description down below. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.